If you're like me, you love to watch different financial channels, money channels. This is kind of a list that I like to watch right here. Some of these listed down through here. And usually I get ideas from these people because what we do on this channel is we run numbers for people. And somebody said, your videos are one of a kind. The reason why is because we actually take these kind of scenarios that we see here and actually run numbers. This is a question, a scenario that was raised on one of these channels. Charlie Munger said, do whatever you can to reach $100,000 as soon as you can. So in this video, we want to see just how important reaching that $100,000, especially the earlier the better. We want to know at what age should you hit that goal, the goal being $100,000, and at what age can you hit that goal in order to retire comfortably. So we got a spreadsheet that we like to use here. Let's say, for example, you've got the 100,000, which is what Charlie Munger said, try to do whatever you can to get there. Let's say you are fortunate, you really go to town and you're able to get that at age 36. Now, from age 36 to 67 is 31 years, 67 being the full retirement Social Security age. So we're just going to run these numbers. And what we do is on this channel is use the returns for the S&P 500 for the last 100 years, and we project ahead what similar returns might do for you in the future. And so what we do on this channel right here, these columns right here, it shows you what you would have in the worst 31-year period in the last 100 years, given and starting out with 100,000, never adding another dime. If you start at age 36, go for 31 years, and use numbers from 1929, you'd have 1.285 million. Second worst, using numbers from 1930, you'd have 1,409,000. I like to use this column right here, which kind of takes the best 95% of the time. In other words, kicking out the worst 5%. Kind of these outliers like these two right here. So 95% of the time you'd have these kind of monies after 31 years or after each of these years. But after 31 years, you have $1.704 million. The median for the last 100 years for a 31-year period would be $2.4 million and so on. This is the highest. So what we want to do is start running some numbers because these by themselves don't help us a whole lot. So let's say, for example, your expenses, current dollars, are $6,000 a month. And we're looking to look at what that would need to grow to have the same buying power over the next, from 36 to 67, over the next 31 years. You're going to need $15,000. Isn't that incredible, the difference? 2.5 times as much if you wait 31 years using these numbers. Now, another thing we need to take into account is Social Security. I'm just going to use the average just to show you how these numbers work. So what this shows us, if we had the worst case scenario using 1929 numbers, you'd have this amount of money. And if you started withdrawing this kind of money, what's this money right here? This is what your future expenses are going to be, because that's what this would grow to with a 3% inflation rate. Social Security is has a COLA each year, so this 2,000 will grow to 4,300 over the next 31 years, given a 2.5% COLA. And if you take it at age 67, you get all of that. So you're going to get future expenses, future Social Security. You're going to need 10,700 coming out of your nest egg. So we use those numbers on this right here, 1929, and you're down to this kind of amount. The bottom line is you'd be out of money at age 81. Second worst, using these numbers, you'd be out of money at age 84. Well, in this case, 95% of the time, your money would last. You would not run out if you had this kind of money to begin with. If you throw out the worst 5%, 95% of the time, you'd have this amount of money or more, these being the or more. Now, what happens if we decide to retire at age 65? Well, let's leave it at 67. Now, let's go to 65 because we want to really stick with 65 the whole way through to show how this works. So age 65 means this is growing to 14,139, the amount you might need. This Social Security, if you take it early, you only get 86.7% of that. So this 2,000 at age 67 would grow to this, but you only get 86% of that. So you're going to get this from Social Security. You're going to need this much from your nest egg. And if you do that, you're going to run out of money at age 77 and 80 in the two worst case scenarios. And age 90, if you did looked at the best 95% of the time, or kicking out the worst 5%, however you want to say that. See, but last 90 might be kind of iffy here. But again, what have we not done? We have not done anything with adding monthly amounts. What happens if you just add $100 a month? Now your money lasts. Just that little bit over the next 29 years, you would not run out of money. Now, let's see what happens if you take it at age, I'm going to go back to age 67 here. Let's say you have 100,000 and you don't have that till age 40. Now we got a situation at age 67, in 5% of the cases, you're running out of money at age 90, and the two worst case scenarios are 77 and 81. Everything else being equal, here this 6,000 growing to this amount needing in 27 years from age 40 to 67. What happens if we take it at age 65? Age 65, you're running out of money at age 79, 5% of the time. So how much would you have to save then to add to this 100,000? Let's say $200 a month. Gets you up to age 89, $300 a month. That gets you to 96, $400 a month. Your final ask, let's see, $350 here. I haven't done this ahead of time. So $350 would, if you added that to the 100,000 over the next 25 years, from age 40 to 65, then your money would last. So it looks like there's a big difference between having it at age 36 and having it at age 40. What happens if you don't have this 100,000 until age 44? Just to show you how much more you need to save. That 100,000 is so crucial. The earlier you get it, the longer it has to compound. That's why at age 36 the numbers look so good. But look what happens now if you want to go. Let's go back to age 67. Age 67. If you do that for the next 23 years, from 44 to 67, never adding another dime, and looked at this 95% column, you would be out of money at age 76. How much would you have to save to be comfortable and get this so your money lasts 95% of the time? $300 a month, get you to age 89. $400 a month, get you to age 96. $500 a month, that's $550. $500 a month gets you to age 84 in these two worst case scenarios. But that shows you how much more you need to save a month because you have a shorter time frame for this 100,000 to grow. So you have to put in a lot more to have your money be safely lasting you to at least this age. So hopefully that makes sense. But what happens if you wanted to go at age 65? Age 65, now even adding $500 a month, your money runs out at age 81, 95% of the time. Let's just change one more thing. Let's go with 90%. Let's kick out the 10 worst case scenarios. Now it's lasting until age 85. How much would you have to save? 750? 750 gets you to age 103. So you have to save that much more. Why? Because you're getting to this 100,000, but if you don't get to it till age 44, you have to add a lot more. Remember at age 36, you only adding about $100 a month to be able to retire at age 65. But that's what we do on this channel. We love setting up spreadsheets. We love answering questions like this. Okay, you get to 100,000, but it's very important to see how early you get to the 100,000. We saw the huge difference between age 36, 40, and 44, and how much more you would have to save each month to be able to have a sum that you'd be able to be comfortable with, that you wouldn't run out of money. But that's what we do. We set up spreadsheets. Please consider subscribing to this channel. Please like the video. Let people know about this channel, and thanks so much for watching.